Okay, we are live. It's so weird when it does that meeting being recorded thing. Okay, people are jumping on and we will let people jump on for our final day. Um yep, all over the world, and Diane always always wins the prize for most dedicated, for most I don't know, everything, because it's literally the middle of the night where she is. God bless you. I do feel guilty. Dan, you can unmute yourself.
Hi, hi. How you going? Hello, lovely ladies.
So
Hi.
we're people just spend a couple of minutes jumping on. Diane is in Perth, Australia, so it's literally Thursday morning in the middle of the night for her. So not only does she get up in the middle of the night, she actually manages to get up and look ravishing as well.
I wouldn't say that.
Receive, receive.
Okay, receive. I did make a bit of an extra effort to scrub up this morning, to be honest with you. But yeah, anyway.
Yeah, no, you look.
Yeah.
Do you go back to bed or do you stay up?
No, I'll be going back to bed after this. I'm not that good.
Oh my goodness. So we are going to be wrapping up day 8 of Empowered Soberful Women. And I have a little story, and I'm not going to tell it to you right now because I'm going to get into the content as to why I've turned up looking a bit of a wreck and my hands are all in bandages. And I will tell you that briefly at the end. I almost didn't know if this was going to happen because of this situation. And I was like, Diane is going to be getting up in the middle of the night and I have to be here. And we're going to just make it work, because we just keep it real here. So we're wrapping up day 8 of the Empowered Soberful Women training. Lots of you have jumped into the program. Lots of you are booking calls. It's just great to see you taking this leap and believing in yourself and in what we can do as well. So we've done work on, and if you haven't seen the videos, you can catch up. There's no limit on watching them, but make sure you watch them because there's so much great content there. We talked about emotional sobriety, which is really kind of my thing. And if you've, come across me or worked with me, heard me on the podcast or whatever, you know it's my thing. It's not just about stopping drinking. And really, we sell ourselves short of what's possible for us if we just stop drinking and do nothing else. Because we have this issue. It's our issue. We have an alcohol problem. That's just how it is. I want everyone to know everyone has stuff. Everyone on the planet has something. This is just our thing. Now, what's great about our thing is it doesn't feel great at first, is it forces us to do some deeper work on ourselves, do some personal development work. And that has an enormous payoff. It enriches our life. Having boundaries changes our lives, being able to deal with fear, being able to deal with resentment. Not only does it keep us away from alcohol, but that's such a minor thing. It gives us all of this other stuff. And that's why don't just stop drinking. Embrace the work that is on offer, wherever you do it, because you will get a payoff. And it's beyond anything you can imagine. So I want to introduce Diane because I think you're going to love her story. I love her. I loved her from the first minute I met her because she's, as you'll be able to tell from her accent, she's from Yorkshire in England. And if you know anything about anyone from Yorkshire in England, they're just as, what do we call them? Like they're just down to earth, plain speaking, great sense of humor. And she somehow ended up in the far-flung reaches of Australia. So you tell us just a little bit about what things were like before you started working with me and what was going on, because you were how long have you been sober, Diane?
Well, the thing is, Veronica, that I stopped drinking in November 2015 and I gave up with the help of AA at that time, and I got to 21 months sober. Did put a lot lot of work into the AA side of things at that time. And then I met my new fella, and yeah, I had this romantic notion about, you know, oh, I could have a nice glass of wine, you know, all that romantic stuff that you think about, you know, with dinner, you know, we can go on a date. Yeah, that would be nice. I'm fixed. Everything's fine, you know, the old voice that goes in your head. So I picked Drink Up back again, and it, I actually carried on with that for 4.5 months, but it was sliding downhill at a rapid rate from the beginning, you know, a couple of glasses and then straight back onto bottles again. So after that, I got sober, and I've been sober for almost 3.5 years continuously now. So 5 years pretty much overall is the answer, with a little break in the middle for, you know, a little bit of more
The research. How was it? What did you conclude from your research?
My conclusion from the research was that it's not good for me to touch drink. If I have even one drink, it sets off what the main thing was for me was that it was taking up room in my head from that very first second that alcohol touched my lips. It set off that trigger in my head that when I want more, and I was thinking about it all day, from the second I woke up to the moment I went to bed. You know, oh, is it, can I get away with having a drink tonight? You know, do you think my partner will notice? Do you think he'll mention anything? Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it's not a great way to live. So, yeah. So I gave up. I just went, no, this is not happening. And clearly, you know, because I know that it's been said that, you know, if you do go for a certain amount of time sober, and you do actually, you know, you're not actually fixed, because that's still traveling along. And when you do pick up, it gets worse. Well, you know, I'm living proof of that. So I know I've been there, done it, and got the old t-shirt. So yeah, I know I can't have any anymore. So, but that's okay. I'm accepting of that, and that's fine. So yeah, that's how long I've been sober for. But where I was at, Veronica, was, you know, I'd done AA, and AA was great. Don't get me wrong. I thought AA was really good, and I'm still, you know, very, very grateful to AA. But I started wanting more, and there was a lot of things that I had in my story that I hadn't unpacked. So I'd come out of quite an abusive marriage. And I was chuckling to myself yesterday when you were talking about resentments, because you said to all these lovely ladies out there, who's had a resentment for 1 day or more? And I was just laughing, going, I had one for 7 years. 7 years. You know, I'm honest. My ex-husband cheated on me, and I stayed with him for the sake of the kids, because we'd only been out in Australia for 3 years. We had no family here. They're all in the UK. I was absolutely petrified, fear, big fear. So I stayed with him because of fear. And then I was kept going to leave him, and I stayed with him because of fear, and it kept going, and it kept going for 7 whole years, until I finally had enough, and I said, no, we're done. I can't do this anymore. And a couple of months later, I stopped drinking, and that was that. I got my power back.
So then,
yeah, sorry, go on, Dave.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, so basically that's where I was at, and yeah, so on round 2, I had a lot of stuff to unpack. I still had that resentment. I still had that fear. And then by the time I came to booking with you for a call on Soberful Women, I'd just been made redundant, and I'd been working a job where I was working silly hours. I was working weekends. I was working 15 hours a day in corporate land. I'm an accountant in corporate land, very, very pressurized. Yeah, very pressurized. And my self-esteem had taken a big knock, because I as you can probably see, I do talk a lot, and accountancy and talking a lot and corporate land doesn't really.
So what made you what was happening before you joined Soberful Women? What made you take that leap?
So what happened was that that, you know, I've been wanting to unpack all my stuff for a long time. I've also got two girls who are neurodivergent. So my eldest one, we're just right at the end right now of getting a test for high level autism. She's got ADHD as well, and chronic anxiety, severe anxiety. My youngest one, who's 18, she has ADHD, agoraphobia, so we're having problems getting her to school and back, and chronic anxiety. And then on top of all that as well, we'd got my partner whose wife died of alcoholism. So he had all his traumas, my stepdaughter had all her traumas, and we're going through all this stuff as a family, and there was a lot I needed to unpack. And so I got to the point, I got made redundant, and what happened, Veronica, was I said, this is my time. The course came up and I went, okay, now's the time to do this. I'm ready.
And what was your experience of the program?
Oh yeah, it was great. It was really good. Yeah. You know, I had to there's a fair bit of commitment involved because I had to get up at 4:30 in the morning, but that's okay. I quite enjoyed that. It was good fun. But my experience of the program was this, that we were given by yourself and Tamara a tool set in which to work through things, and we also talked about that tool set, and not only how could we unpack what we needed to unpack and work through all those resentments, but how to put things into our life, the important things like the boundaries, like looking at fear, you know, pushing through our upper limits, all that good stuff. We had practical toolbox skills we were given to work through those, and that was incredible for me. You know, I remember just going through the course and getting more and more confident, and my self-esteem was getting bigger and bigger, you know. And I just want to add one more thing in before I forget, and I'm sorry if I jump around a little bit.
No, go ahead.
But I remember when we had our call, and I said right at the end, because I was suffering a little bit from, oh gosh, you know, like from afterburn from the old redundancy thing. And I remember saying to you, Veronica, am I too much? Am I too much? And you said to me, Diane, you are going to let your light shine. And I went, great, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. And I'm going to join this course and I'm going to do this. And do it, I did. And wow, it's been life-changing. Absolutely life-changing. Yeah, incredible. You know, I haven't had an argument with my partner for 3 months. 3 months.
And having boundaries was a big one. I remember you had a big having boundaries was the big sort of breakthrough for you for a lot of things.
It was massive. It was massive because I'd got my partner and my stepdaughter, and my stepdaughter's coming up for 14. So, you know what 13, 14-year-olds are like, never mind having lost a mum when they're 9 and seeing what she's seen with all the trauma with the alcoholism with a mum. So we had that going on. But the biggest thing was that I worked out with Veronica and Tamara that I'm quite controlling. And I think I'm quite controlling because of fear. Because I'm so fearful of situations that I just jump in and control things. And because my girls are neurodivergent and I've had to go into schools and things all their lives and go, okay, well, you've got to treat my daughter this way, you've got to treat my daughter that way. My girls are now 22 and 18, and I was still doing it. And Veronica was saying, Diane, get in your lane. Get in your lane, don't go over your don't rob them of their experience, because I was robbing them of their experiences. So yeah, of course I'm there to support them, but I'm not there to helicopter parent them at 22 and 18. It's just not appropriate. It's not an appropriate response. And on that note as well, I think what I've got out of the course is, from being at the beginning, you've been talking all the way through the 8 days about being a little bit crispy. I think I was
Mm.
about 40% crispy when I first started. I love that phrase. It's so cool. I think I was about 40% crispy. And by the end, I've probably still got a bit of crispiness. Everyone is, we're human, you know. But at the end, I found that, you know, I feel that I am now emotionally sober, and
Mm.
I have an appropriate emotional response to
Mm.
whatever happens, you know. And you know, I can sit with my feelings and process them and go, okay, what's going on here? What am I going to do? And if I need to open my toolbox and pull my toolkit out to deal with those resentments, or you know, deal with putting those boundaries in, or go, oh, hang on a minute, I'm feeling some fear, what's going on here? Do I have to do some self-care? What's happening? I know what to do. And that is life changing,
Mm.
absolutely life changing. Money couldn't, well, money does buy it, but you know, money couldn't buy what I have now. It's
Mm.
incredible. It's been amazing for me. I'm
Mm.
so
Mm.
mm,
I'm just thinking like how much I've seen you change, and I want to say,
mm.
someone said that to me years ago. Actually, someone actually said that to me. Veronica, you're too much. You're like a 100-watt light bulb going off in people's faces, and if people are in a dark place, you're too much for them. Like someone actually said that to me, and I at the time was like, oh no, that's really inconsiderate of me. I must be like less bright. And after a couple of years, when I got emotionally sober, I was like, I'm I'm sorry. Get sunglasses. This is who I am. Not everybody loves me. I'm not everybody's cup of tea. We're not Diane, but we have to be who we are. And that is what I have seen happen with you and the other ladies that have done the program. Is we're out of alignment. We're out of alignment. We're not, how we show up in the world is not, it was showing up to please other people, to be what we think other people would like us to be. We're showing up with fear that fitting in, of all of that kind of stuff. So it means we're out of alignment, and we compromise our integrity, and we compromise, and here's the big thing, our authenticity.
That's right. If I could just
Go.
build on that. um I remember 21 years ago, I've been made redundant twice, and you see a pattern here, only twice. And back in 2000, I had a job interview at a job agency who were looking for another job for me at that time. And I remember having that job interview and just being me and being my authentic self. And they said to me, "Do you think you can wind your personality in a little bit?" And I just went, and I think what I've learned from being in the Soberful Women course, and I'm so glad that you've renamed it to Empowered Soberful Women, because that's what it makes us. You know, it gives us that empowerment. Um, what I've learned from that is, you know, if I'm looking for whatever in my life that I'm looking for, whether it's work or it's being around friends or family or whatever that is, if it's not working for me and I can't be my authentic self, then it's not working.
Mm.
I'm not going to change my personality for other people. As you said, get sunglasses. If I'm not your cup of tea, then it is what it is. And you know,
And
I'll get on with
it's
the
neither
people that I
right,
do
yeah,
get on with.
yeah, and
Yeah.
it's neither right nor wrong. Not everybody is everyone's cup of tea, and yeah, it's we can't live in this world not being who we really are, and that's the root of addiction. Is typically what happens when we are kids is when in our families of origin, we often, and it's not just our families of origin, it's sometimes in our communities, perhaps in our churches, we have two needs. We have attachment needs and authenticity needs. And our attachment needs is we need to be attached to our caregivers for survival. And sometimes for some of us, it means to make sure that we have that attachment, which is this acceptance and approval, we have to compromise our authenticity. And it can be things like, for me, it was like, we don't do feelings in my family. It's, that very British, like, it was just shut down. And I had these feelings, and it is authentic to express your feelings. But because I had to push them all down, I had to sacrifice my authenticity to keep my attachment. So that's the root of addiction. That is the root.
That's right. And then if you're pushing it down, what are you pushing it down with? You go to the alcohol, because you've got to push it down with something.
Because it's painful. When
Yeah,
we
absolutely.
sacrifice our authenticity, it's painful. It causes us pain.
It does. It does. We can't be ourselves. And, so you've got to try and find, well, it just doesn't work. Let's face it, it doesn't work, And obviously, you've got to adapt to certain situations and things. You can't just like be completely filter off and plow your way through life. As intelligent, emotionally intelligent human beings, we've got to, be respectful of others and kind and have a filter, But at the same time, you've got to be your authentic self, and you've got to live life the way that you are and be accepting of the traits that you've got and be proud of those, because it's what makes you who you are. So,
Your Diane-ness is very attractive. Your full Diane-ness showing up in the world with that is just what the world needs. And it's a real shame that so many people live their lives without being who they fully are. And that's what we do in Soberful. We return people to themselves, because then people go out into the world and do their thing. So where are you at now? What's happening now? Tell us a little bit about that.
Oh, what's happening now is that I've just started doing a counselling diploma. So I've decided to change careers, and I'll probably still do a little bit of accounting work until I can get myself up and running on the counselling. But yeah, I've started doing counselling. Veronica's very kindly, and the team have very kindly as well let me be a volunteer moderator on the Soberful Facebook page as well, which is great, and I'm really, really enjoying as well. Life's good. My daughters are okay. I'm staying in my lane and letting them do their thing.
You haven't had an argument for 3 months?
3 months. Haven't had an argument for 3 months. And I went for coffee a few weeks ago with my ex-husband and had a civil conversation for an hour and a half.
Wow, that's pretty something.
It was. So that was really, really good. So look, life's a lot better. It's not roses and rainbows and unicorns. Let's face it. We're human, and life happens, and things happen, and but at least I've got a toolbox. And another thing I just want to mention as well, big shout out to Rebecca, to Beck over in Sydney. Me and Beck have been emailing each other. We're doing a 90-day challenge, which means pretty much every day, but we probably sometimes go 2 or 3 days. But we email each other to talk about if we've got any resentments, and if we've got any apologies to make to people, how many people we've spoken to who are in recovery from alcoholism that day, and a little bit about our thoughts for the day and everything. And it makes us accountable, and I'm really, really enjoying it. I know Beck's getting a lot out of it, and so am I as well. I think we're coming up to day 70 now, so we're about 2/3 of the way through. But yeah, that's great as well. And the thing is, you've got to put the effort in to be able to have this sort of life. It's really important to put the effort in, because what you put in is what you get out. It really is. We put a lot of effort into our drinking when we're drinking, a lot of time, a lot of bandwidth thinking about in our heads, so much energy and so much effort. And when we put that much effort into our sobriety, we can go out and have fun. I've got a load of concerts coming up. I love my concerts. My youngest daughter, she's my concert buddy, and we go to those. We've got so many lined up, and it's so much fun. And we have a lovely time, and gosh, wouldn't have it any other way. Sobriety is such a gift. It really is. Yeah, it's a gift that keeps on giving. Thanks.
Yeah, Diane, you've just been amazing. You really have. Yeah, and Diane was so determined to do this. She got up in the middle of the night to do it, to do the work.
It's 2:25 now, so it's not too. And I do have my coffee.
And you're still going to go back to sleep. Yeah, just a warning, Louise, Leanie, sometimes people do my programs and they do so well and they change and they take off and then I hire them. So be warned. Be warned, that might happen. So if you guys have any questions about the Empowered Soberful Women program, now would be the time to ask them. I know I didn't announce the winner from yesterday, and they won. Yesterday was the book bundle that the coaches chose, and the winner was, let me find it. Leanie will, if not, Leanie will post it, and then I'll tell you why my hands look like this. Oh, Mandy Wilson. Mandy Wilson won those books. The prize that we're giving away today is a year's membership to Soberful Life. So you can have a year's free membership to Soberful Life by answering the question that I'll tell you about in a minute. I want to tell you, I want to just kind of go over quickly the Empowered Soberful Women program. It's 5 months because we added in the module with hormones and food because we thought that was really important to have. And just really, like Diane said, we do this deeper work. It's very skill-based. It's, we talk about things, but it's specifically about learning skills that you missed out on to manage and deal with your emotions. It's about emotional mastery, because I don't know about you, I've felt very much like a little boat on the ocean, and the waves were just, I had no rudder because I had no emotional mastery. I was at the mercy of my feelings and my emotions. So what we get from this program is emotional mastery. And I think you've heard me, you talk about all the different modules. We have weekly coaching calls. It runs right through to pretty much the end of the year. There's a lot of support, lots of time to change. When we show up and we do everything imperfectly. If you're going to sign up, book the call with me or Tamara ASAP, or jump in and make sure you do it before the 17th so you can get the early bird bonuses, because we do this early bird session that's super fun, and we really enjoy it. So let me, Sue has what is the maximum class size, number of participants? I think we keep it under 20. So it's big enough that people can form relationships, but small enough so we can get to know each other and everybody can get their needs met. Sue's asked, what I wanted to ask is why going to AA hasn't addressed all these issues. Because AA is not designed to address these issues. The AA program is a spiritual program to teach spiritual tools. And it says in the Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous, which is where the program is laid out, it says there that we should never hesitate to take our health needs to doctors, psychiatrists, and psychologists of various kinds. So most people in AA don't know what the program is and don't know that it says that. So my perception of the 12-step program is it gets you sober and gets you in better shape. And then in fact, I've never met anyone who doesn't have some issues from their family of origin or relationships or anxiety or blah, 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 that you then need to go and seek professional help for. AA should not address these issues because it's not professionally led. All that stuff should be dealt with a professional. AA is just a spiritual practice in order to get us into more fit spiritual condition, more connected with ourselves. I actually wrote an extensive blog post. It's on my blog. I think it's on veronicavalley.com about AA. Chip and I, that's how we both got sober, because when we got sober, there wasn't anything else. There really wasn't. We got sober before the internet was even a thing. So you can read all my thoughts in that blog post. I think it's the program itself is very solid, but you have to separate the program from the fellowship. And in the fellowship, there's a lot of misinformation. So you have to seek out, and sometimes you have to hunt for someone who really knows what they're talking about. But if you want to know more of my thoughts, then go to that blog post. Yeah, it's Soberful is a therapeutic program. Tamara and I are both qualified therapists. It's therapeutic. It's about deep doing the, and you really should only ever do that with a professional, not with a sponsor. Yeah, and our all my programs work with, you know, if you go to AA or Smart Recovery or Refuge Recovery or WFS, which I love their program, by the way, Women for Sobriety. It works with all of those because this is the therapeutic part. And the part that you need to do with professionals. So that's where my program fits in. Leanie's going to post the link with the information about the program for those of you who haven't seen it and want to see it again and want to sign up or book a call or whatever. Should I tell you quickly what happened to my hands? It's a bit of a horror story. So literally, I got home 5 minutes before this call started. I will be, when I finish this call, I will be going to take care of myself. I was walking my kids to school with my puppy this morning. Thank God I dropped my kids off, and we were attacked by 2 horrible dogs that had escaped from their yard, and they attacked my puppy and tried to kill him, and it was horrible. And I tried to pull them off, and they bit me, and blah, blah, blah. My puppy is okay. He's at the vet's. He's traumatized, and I'm traumatized by it. And luckily it's me and I know how to take care of that, so I will be taking care of myself. You can do actually EFT with animals, and I've done it a little bit with yeah, you can. I have lots of people in my EFT world who specifically practice that, so I'm going to be doing EFT with my puppy, and we will be okay, and we will get over this. But I was like on the phone to Leanie going, just to let you know, I'm at the hospital, like I had x-rays, it's all swollen up, blah, blah, blah. Shit. And I was like, Diane is waking up in the middle of the night. I gotta get here. And thank God it's Diane, because Diane can just talk fine. She'll just talk and she'll be great and I don't have to worry. So I was so pleased it was Diane. And it kind of does me good to be here and do my thing. So I rest assured, when I'm done with this, I will be taking care of myself for the rest of the day, the rest of the week, and healing from my injuries. But yeah, it was pretty awful. So my makeup is all so I want to say again, thank you, Diane. I'm going to let you go to bed in a minute. Thank you so much for everybody who showed up, who watched all the different videos and did the homework. I'll give you the question in a second. Please reach out to me if you have any questions about the Empowered Soberful Women program. Are we going to run it again? I'll answer you completely honestly about that. The honest answer is I don't know. And the second answer is, if we do, I won't be teaching as much in it. And that's because my book is coming out in January and I have to do a lot of stuff around that, which means I will be doing, Tamara will be leading it more. So I think we're planning on running it again at the end of the year, but I'm not 100% certain. And I'm not doing that to be like cagey. There's just a lot of things happening behind the scenes and I don't fully know. So I know we're going to do the Sober Mindset again in September. I know that for sure. And Sober for Life is running. But beyond that, I still have some uncertainty about things. So that's, I'm going to be touring with my book next year and all of that kind of stuff. So things will be changing. So and again, if now is the time, jump in now, because now is the time. We talked yesterday about the fear and resistance that will come up and how scary it is to commit to something. It was scary, Diane, right? Committing to this.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. You've got to really dig deep within yourself, right? You've got to go to the bone. You've got to do the work to the bone. It really is. You've got to be ready for it. But gosh, what you get out of it is just so much more when you're pushing through that fear of what you work through, and I mean, even the financial commitment, it can be a bit scary, but absolutely, I've got so much out of it, worth every single, really, really, like I said, if I'd won the lottery, you couldn't have, given me what I've got now. It's absolutely incredible. I would highly recommend it if you're in the right space to do it right now. I
Yeah.
couldn't recommend it. So
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
Yeah, and I make a couple of promises. If you come along, I will fuck up your drinking, because you will know things that you can't unknow. And if you come along imperfectly, you will experience a transformation and be in a different place by the end of it. And that's what I offer. So yes, there's still places. We usually, to be honest, we usually fill up before the early bird session on the 17th, but enrollment still goes, I think, until the following week. And I look forward to speaking to many of you, and I look forward to seeing you in the program, and the rest of you, I just look forward to seeing you when our paths cross wherever they are. Diane, thank you again, my love. Go back to sleep. You've been
You're very
amazing.
welcome, and I'm glad that you and Cadbury are
I
okay. And I'm sorry that you've had
know.
such a scary experience. It
Oh,
must have been terrifying.
yeah, I know with me it won't hit me for a couple of days, but it was
Yeah,
really
but yeah,
horrifying.
yeah. But I know that you'll
Yeah,
do some self-care and
yeah,
look after you.
yeah,
So yeah.
yeah.
Anyway, my love to you.
Thanks so much, and I will take care of myself. And also thank you to Leanie and Louise, who do such a wonderful job supporting me and making sure I can do my stuff. They do a fabulous job, and much love to them as well. Yeah, I'll let you know how Cabri is. The vet called me and said, like, injury wise, like it's. I mean, he's injured, but he's okay. He's not going to die, but he's traumatized, and we're going to take care of him. So, all right, everybody, lots of love to you all. Take care. Bye bye.